Hello, my name is Lorraine Vale. I am chair of OLLI's Venue and Technology Committee, and I'm going to give a demo of SOU's Raider Moodle. I have typed into my browser the URL, which is raider.moodle.sou.edu, and the page that you see is the home page. You would see the Raider Hawk on the top, and below that, a little OLLI logo. And there are two links with the OLLI logo. One, the student login guide, which you will provide to your students, and the instructor's guide to Moodle. Up on the top, across, is a red menu bar that will be on the top of all of the Moodle pages. And to the right at this time is login. So I'm going to click login, and that will bring up a pop-up screen page, and there will be the username on the top that will be provided to you, and it does not change, and you do not change it. And underneath that, you will type in a password. You will be given a temporary password, and then change your password to your personal password. And when that's done, you can then log in. So now the home page has refreshed, as you can see. There's a couple of differences I want to point out. First, if you were successful, up at the top, it will say hi with your name. Also, above that, the red banner, the red menu, has some new headings in it, and we're going to work with those in a moment. And off to the right side, you will see that login no longer appears, and in its place is the circle with your initials. That is a pull down. And later on, we're going to demo profile. But right now, let's get started by going to my courses. So when this first appears, it'll be my courses, course overview, and it will be a list of all of your current and prior Moodle courses that you were either an instructor for or you were an enrolled student. If you want to ever change the view, you can sort differently, and you can also go over to the little buttons and hide or star a particular course. We are going to begin our work today on a course titled Independent Cinema 3. You do not change the titles. This is the title from the OLLI catalog. This will bring up the page with the title of the course as the title of the page. There will also be a welcome for you. I'm going to show you participants before we move on to posting. So here's a roster. Now, this roster, you do not have to create it. This roster is loaded by the OLLI office from the Campus CE registration system. It will be first loaded on the end of the week of open registration, and then they will periodically add new names to it as students join. There is one valuable thing to see in this list, and that's when each individual person last accessed this course, which lets you know if your students are involved with Moodle. Now I'm going to move back the course, and now we want to do some work. But before we can do any work, we have to do kind of the most important thing, which is change from view mode, which is what we're in now. We're just viewing the OLLI template, to be able to edit and do work and post in the template. We have to go up to the right-hand side of the red menu and click edit mode, which will then bring you into edit mode. Those words disappear and a little white circle displays. So the first thing on the list whenever you are in one of your templates is going to be announcements. And announcements is for sharing some general news. It's not a place where you would want to post. It is whatever you do in this particular screen, and I'll click here, add discussion topics so you can see it, is it sends an email to all of the people on the roster. So you can put in the subject, just as you would if you were doing your own email, and put in a message and click post to forum, and that will send. So now let's go back and do some work. I'm going to click back on the title, and we're going to move on to the important little red bar below announcements. And this bar will appear on the very bottom of the page each time you open this page. So, and you're in edit mode. So if you have maybe posted 5 things and this list has gotten long, the red bar will be on the bottom of the 5. So if you don't see it when you first look, keep scrolling. It will be there as long as you're in edit mode. I'm going to click this. And this is going to bring up a page called Add Activity or Resource. These are all the different ways that you can add things. We're going to go to Resources and click on File. You will also see URL here if you want to add a website. So these are the 2 primary resources that would be posted. This will bring up a new page called Adding a New File. And if you look at the first line here under General Name, this is the name that you want to give this resource that the students will see. I'm going to call this my intro letter. I would make this a longer title, but because I'm doing this demo, I'm just going to keep it short. And I've created my description of this title, which I'm just going to do a cut and paste. And right below the description, there is a box for display description on the course page. I'm going to click that because once the file is posted, I want students to be able to see the description I've written. And then below that, there is select files. And you can click this little icon right here in the corner, or you can click inside the circle, and that will bring up a pop-up file picker. And because I've clicked file, it's already enabled here with upload a file. Off to the side is choose file. So when I click this, it's going to go to my browser. It's going to go to my directory, excuse me. You're not going to see that happen because I'm not sharing that particular piece. So I'll click this. I will choose my file. I will open the file, and then it will appear. I have nothing else to add for these other fields. I'm going to click upload this file, and now I will see it back on the main Moodle adding a new file page. At this point, I have nothing else to do. These are not activities that are needed. And then you will also find a send content change notification. This is an important little function that Moodle has. If you click this, then whenever you make a change or add or anything to your course, your roster will be notified of that. It's a very short email. It will identify your course title and what you have done. So I'm going to click this. There are 2 options here before you leave. One is to save and return to this page, and the other one is to just save and display this information, and you can then click and return to the page. So I'm just going to take the shortcut and save and return to the course. And now you will see, in addition to announcements, we now have an intro letter. That was the name that I put. Here's the little description for it. This is how I would open the letter if I was a student. And if I wanted to do some more work, I would add an activity or resource again. I'd click this and just do another. Also, there is add topic. You can click on this and it will bring up a heading. You could edit this to be what you want, and add another activity, it's going to look the same as doing anything here. It just separates it out if you want to create some sections in your postings. So let's go take a look at how this looked to the students. So to do this, I go up to the pull down and click under initials and click switch to. I click student, and there's what I've done. This is what the student would see. They would see announcements, of which there aren't any yet. They would see this intro letter. They would just be able to click there. They see the description. I didn't put anything under topic, so they don't see anything else there. So then I want to leave this. I go back to the pull down. I put return to my normal role. And Moodle had automatically taken me out of edit mode when I viewed as a student, because students are not editing. And so I'm going to click that back on because I want to do some more work. So let's go back to my courses. And let's take a look at Independent Cinema Part 1, another of my courses that I'm teaching. You can see I'm very busy. So we start out with file, intro letter, and course syllabus. In this particular course, I have done a longer title. It has a description of what I'm doing there. Announcements. I have made an announcement to them. A guest speaker is going to join us during session 1. I have also loaded another file called Director's Interviews and made a description. I have added a URL. So let's take a look at this. So I typed in a name. This is just the name that you want to give this particular website. It can be longer than the website name. It can be whatever you want. It's just text. But in this, where external URL, where before you went to your directory and chose a file, here you need to type in the browse from your browser, a copy, and then paste it here of the actual website complete URL. On the description, you can describe the website. It's the same as describing a file. And then when you are finished, you would save and return to the course. So we're just looking at this. I've already done this, so I'm going to go back to the course itself. And you will see that I did create a topic this time: documentary films, documentary film structure, and that is a more complete posting for my course. So that we have just seen, you've seen, and I have created for you the template basic. Now let's take a look at what basic plus is. So to create basic plus, a template, if that was your choice, it is no different. The process is exactly the same as what we just did. But the difference is going to be that when the template was loaded, it included sessions. Now it is just going to say session 1, session 2, all the way up to session 10. You can edit that by putting in the date, which I liked doing. So it's not just they're knowing session 1, but that it meets on September 25th. And session 2 is October 2nd. And you'll see that I have posted the file that I want to use for that. And I deleted by, you could just go over here with these little dots, and there's delete is one of the things. Sessions 4 through 10, because it's only a 3-session course. So that is what your basic plus template would look like. So let's think now about the other template choice, which was more Moodle. So we are going to take a look at one of those now. And it is exactly the same as Basic Plus. You see there are sessions. These sessions I have not bothered adding a date yet to them. I'm still working on this one. But it has 2 new features. One is forum, which is a discussion, and the other is assignment. So I'm just going to give a brief overview. If these are things that interest you, there is information in the how-tos up in the top red. You can always find this under the faculty pull down. There are the Moodle how-tos. There's also, if you want additional help, we can set you up with the SOU Moodle help resource person. So a forum is a way to post something. So, hello everyone, this is what I've done. Please introduce yourself to the rest of the class. Tell us a bit about yourself and what your interest is in this course topic. Feel free to reply to others. So I have posted a description of myself, and then students, if interested, would also follow up on that, and it just creates kind of a discussion board. It's easy to post. You would just add discussion topic. It looks the same as all of the other screens. It looks just like announcements. You do subject, message, and post. The other option, the other new thing in here is assignments. And that is very much kind of the same process. Is you make a submission, so you post an assignment, you give it an assignment name, you put in a description. If you have specific things, if you had any files that you wanted to add to it, if you had dates where you wanted to make for when that could be submitted, when it can't be submitted anymore, likely not things you might want to do in an OLLI course, but maybe you would. If you want to be send content whenever it changes, you would click that box and click save and return. So again, you see that the user interface on all of these, whether or not it's basic or basic plus or more Moodle, it follows the same look and feel. You have a name, which is required. You have a description, which is optional. You have some additional things you can do or not do, but at the end, you need to either click the save and return or save and display and then move on. You can always go to the student view by switching roles and see what the student would like. That came up as an error because I had not enabled a particular thing, so I apologize for that, but it would normally just work fine. The next piece that I'm going to demo is we're going to go to profile, and so the profile is initially loaded with basic information of your email address. And if you want to add some more, you just click edit profile. There are these little boxes that are self-explanatory. You can add some information about yourself. You could post a picture. Again, the user interface screen looks the same each time you're doing something. It's a nice thing about Moodle. And when you're finished with your changes, you would just update and move on to the next thing that you want to do. So that completes all of the different pieces that I wanted to demo today. The 3 different templates, basic, basic plus, and more Moodle. Each of them build on the prior one. So you are going to select one of those templates, which will then be enabled for you. It will be loaded along with your roster, and then you will post in the ways that I've shown you today. I thank you very much for considering Moodle. I hope that you have a successful course and a lot of fun. Thank you very much.